We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series, the lecture number 2. Subject is Dynamics of Machinery, prepared by Professor Harshal Shukla. So, I have again taken the same unit, Dynamics of Reciprocating Engine. This unit is unit number 2 in the GTU syllabus. So, the content of presentations are Introduction, Need of Balancing, Primary and Secondary Unbalanced Forces, Partial Balancing of Primary Unbalanced Forces. Okay, so this is your GTU syllabus. We are working under this single cylinder engine. The multi-cylinder engine or the locomotives we are going to take in the next video lecture series. So again coming back to this content, introduction I have already delivered in lecture number 1. Need of balancing I have already delivered in lecture number 1. So in this video lecture we are going to see primary and secondary unbalanced forces. Okay, and this the last topic, partial balancing, we are going to take in lecture number 3. So we'll start the lecture. Before going to the lecture part, I want to just recall and revise the lecture number 1. Okay, so this was our horizontal reciprocating engine where all the forces are denoted. Okay, these red dots Fi, Fr, Fn, Fbv and Fbh. So in the previous video lecture we have seen that Fi and Fr we got neglected, or we can say we nullified each other. Fn and Fbv nullified each other or cancelled out due to moment equation. Okay, so only one force was left out, that is Fbh. That was our previous lecture. Okay, so this was the reason of need of balancing in reciprocating part. Okay, so now we'll be taking this leftover part Fbh, or you can say the unbalanced force. Okay, so in this part, or you can say we are going to start the introduction. We'll be first introducing 2 components of Fbh, or you can say the unbalanced force, that is primary and second. Before going to the primary and secondary unbalanced forces, let's go for the nomenclature. So again I am taking this figure, horizontal reciprocating engine. The M represent mass of reciprocating part, L represent length of connecting rod, that is Cp, you can see here. R represent radius of the crank, OC, this is your crank. Theta is the angle of inclination of the crank, this is your theta with the line of stroke, the angle between the crankshaft and line of stroke. Omega is the angular speed of the crank, as we have denoted, this is your omega angular speed rotating in clockwise direction. N is the obliquity ratio, or you can define as L by R. This term is an aerospace term. Okay, so just let me give you the brief about obliquity ratio. Let's say there is an earth surface. Okay, this is your earth surface, the red line. Okay, so it has an equatorial line, so this is your equator of the earth. Okay, so now we'll have 2 axes. One is, this is your earth axis, or you can say plane of earth axis, and this is your equatorial axis. Now let's say here is your earth, this red dot, here is your earth, here is your sun. So we'll join these 2 points. What will happen? Okay, so this point and this point. So you can also analogous this as your connecting rod and crankshaft. So this is your L, this is your R, and here is your theta. Okay, so obliquity ratio means L by R. So to see the primary and secondary unbalanced forces, let's bring back the same our figure. Okay, and let's also grab some of the kinematics theory. In the kinematics of machinery, there was one formula derived: acceleration is equals to omega square r into cos theta plus cos 2 theta by n. Remember, this divided by n is with whole cos, not with only angle 2 theta by n. Okay, so this derivation has been already taken up in kinematic subject, so this time it's not in your syllabus. You can directly take this value. Okay, now from the Newton's law we know that force is equals to mass into acceleration. So m you have already defined in the previous slide, that is m is the mass of reciprocating part. Acceleration we have given by this formula, omega square r into cos theta plus cos 2 theta by n. So the force will become m omega square r into cos theta plus cos 2 theta by n. This is in bracket. Let's separate it out. So while separating, we found that m omega square r cos theta plus m omega square r cos 2 theta by n. So now m omega square r cos theta, we can name it or we can define it as the primary unbalanced force, and m omega square r cos 2 theta by n is our secondary force. Okay, so that is Fp and Fs. So these two are the main components in unbalanced force. Okay, so now let's go more deep into this and do some analysis on primary and secondary force. So in primary force, m omega square r cos theta. So cos theta is the main function, or you can say Fp depends on cos theta, whether it may be minimum or maximum. So as our crankshaft is moving in forward direction, let's say this point is our 0 degree, this is your 90 degree, this point is your 180 degree, and this is your 270. Again here 360. Okay, one complete revolution. Okay, so let's do some analysis, or let's say what will be the minima or maxima of primary force at what points. So let's consider at 0 degree. So Fp is equals to m omega square r cos theta. If cos 0 is 1, that means Fp is maximum at this point. Okay, that is at 0 degree. If we take 90 degree, so Fp will be m omega square r cos 90. Cos 90 is 0, so here your Fp will be minimum. Okay, similarly at 180 also we can do, at 270 also, and at 360 also. So at the end we can conclude that at 0 and 180 the Fp is maximum, at 90 and 270 Fp is minimum. Okay, similarly for this secondary force, here it's very important because the cos is of 2 theta, means angle is twice. Okay, so while going at 0 degree, Fs will be cos 2 into 0 means cos 0, that is 1. So here it will be maximum. At 90, if you keep theta here 90, cos will becomes 180, and 180 means minus. Okay, for magnitude we can neglect the negative sign. So Fs will be again maximum at 90 since theta becomes 180. Okay, now take at 180. So at 180, cos 2 into 180 means 360. So at 360 also the secondary force will be maximum. Similarly at 270 will be also maximum, and 360 will be also maximum. So in one revolution, secondary force will be maximum 4 times, whereas primary force will be twice times maximum in one revolution. Okay, be careful. I am going to put a quiz at the end of this video lecture so you can remember about Fp and Fs. After the analysis of primary force and secondary force, we can have our conclusion or inferences. So we can now easily conclude that Fp and Fs are two components of unbalanced force, or you can say FBH. So this is our topic of primary and secondary unbalanced forces. Okay, now there are some important notes regarding this, so let's take that notes. First, in case of moderate speeds, okay, in case of moderate speed engine, the secondary unbalanced force is so small that it may be neglected as compared to primary unbalanced force. So mainly this force is neglected in any of the theoretical analysis for moderate speed engine. Okay, the next is very important. The unbalanced force due to reciprocating masses varies in magnitude but constant in direction. Okay, so this is about reciprocating masses. We can say that it varies in magnitude because cos theta and cos 2 theta have different values based on the rotation of crank. So at some point Fp is maximum, at some point Fp is minimum. So its magnitude varies, but it is constant in direction. Whereas in revolving masses, the unbalanced force is constant in magnitude but varies in direction because there is no cos component or cos 2 theta component in revolving masses. There is only centrifugal force, that is m omega square r in case of revolving masses. So it is constant in magnitude but vary in direction. Coming back again with our surprise element, or you can say the quiz section. So we have the first quiz as the primary unbalanced force is maximum when the angle of inclination of the crank with the line of stroke is. Okay, so remember, primary force means m omega square r cos theta. So we have cos as the main dependent factor. So when the cos is maximum, at 0 and at 180. So let's see what are the options. You have 270, 90, 180 and 360. So 180 is the correct answer. So let's go to the quiz 2. The secondary unbalanced force is maximum when the angle of inclination of the crank with the line of stroke is. Okay, so remember, in secondary unbalanced force it is cos 2 theta. So cos 2 theta means at any angle, you can say at 0, 90, 180, 270 or 360. Okay, so you can have all these points as maximum point for where your secondary unbalanced force is maximum. Let's see the options. 0, 90, 180. So it's clearly that all of the above is the correct answer. Let's go to the quiz 3. How many times the primary unbalanced force is maximum in one revolution of crank? One revolution means from 0, 90, 180, 270 and 360. So at 0 and 180 it is maximum. You know that it only depends on cos theta. So it won't be once, it won't be thrice, it won't be 4 times. The correct answer will be twice because it is 0 and 180. Okay, so now going for the quiz 4. How many times the secondary unbalanced force is maximum in one revolution of crank? It is clear that the answer will be 4 times because at any angle taking from 0, 90, 180, 270 or 360, there are 4 times coming that the secondary unbalanced force will be maximum. Okay, remember, this quiz may help you in any of the exam, competitive exam, maybe GTU exam also. It's not clear that the current end semester exam must be a theoretical or an objective. So be prepared with this objective. So this is the last part of this video lecture, that is GTU questions. You may be asked descriptive also, that can be possible. So let's take GTU question which have been asked previously. The first question: explain about primary and secondary balancing of reciprocating masses. So the whole video lecture of this was on this only. This question has been asked in winter 2019, summer 2019 in the newer version of. Second question is: write a short note on primary and secondary balancing and explain why only a part of unbalanced force due to reciprocating masses is balanced by revolving mass. See, the later part of this question has been covered in the video lecture number 3. Before that portion, that primary and secondary, the both questions are same. So I hope you can easily do this theoretical as well as small part of mathematical solution. So this is the lecture series. So I have just declared that in lecture 1 what I have covered, in lecture 2 what I have covered, in lecture 3 what I am going to cover is in the next slide. So this is again the same context, the content of presentation. The first 2 things I have covered in lecture number 1. The second part, primary and secondary unbalanced force, I have completed in lecture number 2, that is in this lecture. And the last part, partial balancing of primary unbalanced forces, it will be covered in lecture number 3. See, we just completed the need of balancing, why balancing is required in reciprocating engine, but it is not till now clear, or in the next lecture I am going to clear that why a partial balancing is required in reciprocating engine. I hope you like this video. So I will end with this quote. Engineer now, a person who carries through an enterprise or brings about a result either by skillful or artful contrivance. Thank you.